and this is
Minna.
And today we're going to be dissecting the spiny dogfish, which is also known as the Squaleus acanthius.
So the spiny dogfish shark belongs in the phylum Chordata. Some characteristics of the phylum Chordata is most of the organisms have bilateral symmetry. So what that means is if we drew a line down the spiny dogfish shark, it would look the same on both sides of that line. Chordates also have a segmented body with segmented muscles, and they have a single dorsal hollow nerve cord that usually has an enlarged anterior end, so it has a larger brain. There's a tail projecting beyond the anus at some stage of the development, and there are also pharyngeal pouches present at some stage of development. It has a ventral heart with dorsal and ventral blood vessels, and it's a closed blood system, and they're also equipped with a complete digestive system.
Alright, going off of what Minna just said, for the dogfish's taxonomy, its scientific name is the Squaleus acanthius, and its kingdom is Animalia, phylum is Chordata, subphylum is Vertebrata, class is Chondrichthyes, order is Squaliformes, family is Squalidae, genus is Squalus, species is Acanthius. And so first, before we start our dissection, I think we're going to go over its external features. The main ones that you guys need to know is the first dorsal fin. This is what you see in like movies or something with like the sharks. And this is like how they swim with it up, and it's usually above the water when they're surfacing. These are the pectoral fins. See how they're on their abdomen, and this is just like what helps them swim through the water. It's usually parallel to the water. The spiracles are these two little dots at the front, if you can see those. That is what like takes the water in and helps them breathe in the water. And then if we go to the top, here is its like head. This is its nose, and here are its eyeballs. If you flip it over, you can see its mouth, which you can open, and you know there's little teeth in there. These are the gill openings. And see, this is how it helps them breathe in the water, and you can also call them as gill slits. Down here is the pelvic fin on the side, which also helps them with like locomotion right here. And then this is the caudal fin. This is what helps them, you know, move when they're swimming. If we're gonna flip it over now, we will see two little clasps. They're called claspers, which are right here. You can see those. Basically, this is what is the reproduction system of like the shark. Sharks practice internal fertilization, and so at the posterior end of the shark is the pelvic fins, like I said before, and then they're modified into these claspers, which they can use to start the reproduction process. Unlike most bony fish, sharks are case-selected reproducers, meaning that they produce a small number of well-developed babies.
So as Emily was saying, we have the mouth here, and then we have the spiracles over here, which are these two little holes right above the eyes. And so how the shark breathes is water enters through the mouth and these spiracles into gill chambers, which exit through these external gill slits right here. You can kind of see them, they're like little holes. And then blood in the gill filaments absorb oxygen from the water, and the heart pumps oxygenated blood from the body to the gills for oxygenation. Then from the gills, the oxygenated blood returns to the body.
So now we're going to start on to the actual dissection. We're first going to place our shark on with the ventral side up, which is like his belly side up. And you know that this is his belly because it's like the lighter side of the shark. And then we are going to take our tools and take a scalpel. We're going to make a shallow cut from his pectoral fin and then down to his tail. So you just keep going all the way down, and then we'll make one here and here, and then so here we go. Make sure you keep your cut shallow because you don't want to pierce any of the organs. His skin is pretty thick, but see, there we got a pretty good cut. shark is kind of, his organs are a little smushed inside just because they've, you know, been preserved and everything, so you just gotta be careful where you're cutting. Kind of like over here, you can see that there's something oozing out of the incision. That is just the liver oil. And liver oil is what helps sharks in their buoyancy in the water, so that helps them swim. Okay, let's see if we can... And if it doesn't come off right away, just redo your cuts because they might not be deep enough. The shark's skin is pretty deep. And then after you cut it, just peel back its abdomen skin so you can see all of its organs in the inside. And there's the inside of the shark. Okay. Alright, well we're going to cut a little more so we can see where, up to his jaw. It's a lot tougher up here by his gill slits just because it's protecting more special organs. Now we're just going to cut it off just so you guys can see it easily. Usually you would not cut it off, but you can just check with your teacher on that. So, the digestive system.
So the spiny dogfish shark primarily feeds on bony fishes such as herring and sand lance, but they can also eat other sharks, squid, and octopus. So now that we have the spiny dogfish's internal organs exposed, we're going to talk about the digestive system of this animal. So food goes in from the mouth and then to the pharynx, into the esophagus, and then into the stomach, which is this part right here. And the stomach is a J-shaped organ ventral to the liver, and these are the liver right here, where the food is churned and stored. And then it goes into the duodenum, which is right here. And this is caudal from the stomach, and it receives bile from the bile duct. The small intestine, which is also called the spiral intestine, is a screw-like symmetrical shape, and it adds surface area for digestion and absorption, which reduces the time it takes for digestion of the food. And then it goes in. Then the food goes on to the large intestine and the cloaca, with the rectal gland and the colon, which are all part of the excretory system, which would all be under here. And then the largest organ here is the liver, and the liver has 3 lobes, which excretes and creates oil, which helps, like Emily said, with buoyancy. And that's why you can see all this oil right here. This is all from the liver, which helps him float. And attached to the ventral side of the 3rd median lobe, we have the gallbladder, which stores bile. And then we have the spleen, which is located at the posterior end of the stomach. And then the pancreas has 2 lobes positioned on the ventral side of the duodenum and located dorsal to the stomach.
Now I'm going to talk about the nervous system, which is mostly all located up in its brain. The first that we're going to know about is the olfactory sacs, which are like the 2 largest nerve sensors that detect chemical surroundings in the water. They're attached to the spiracles. And then attached to that is the olfactory lobes, and that's the area of the brain that receives the nerve signals from the sacs. So that would all end up here. If you wanted to see all that, all you have to do is cut more into here, and you could flip it over and cut the top of his brain. But we're not going to do that today, but you can try to convince your teacher to let you guys do that, because it's actually pretty interesting up there, and it's, you know, similar to the human's brain and has all the same kind of nervous system aspects. The next in the brain is the cerebrum, and that's the 2 hemispheres between the olfactory lobes and the sacs. And then next is the optic lobes, which is connected to its eyes, and it's self-explanatory of how, you know, it helps them see in the water. Sharks don't have the greatest sight, you know, they see better in brighter lights, which kind of doesn't make sense because, you know, most of the time they're in dark areas of the sea. And then the cerebellum is caudal from the optic lobes, and it controls like the muscle coordination. So that would be controlling his fins or his tail, or, you know, just the way that he moves in the water. So then that's basically all that we have for you today. You know, you saw the inside and the internal anatomy, and you saw the external anatomy. The spiny dogfish is, you know, really similar to any other shark. And so it's a great thing to dissect because then you can just learn more about the shark's body. Alright, well thank you guys for watching. It was really fun to let you guys see how this dissection works, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it and hope you guys have a really good dissection when you do it. Good luck to you all.
Good luck.